What's going on, everybody? If you are watching this, hopefully you have seen my other video where I compare the GoPro 6 and the Sony FDR-X3000 in a video. Now, for that video, I was doing strictly a stabilization test, but after going through editing, because I was editing in a lower resolution, I didn't notice until afterward, and it was published that the footage coming from the Sony camera was really almost out of focus. So up close stuff seemed all right, but far away stuff, their sharpness was garbage. Of course, everybody, was jumping on board with like, oh, you're GoPro fanboy, or this is a fake review, or you skewed the test for the Sony, which I didn't. I literally went out as soon as the GoPro 6 came out. I wanted to see how the stabilization was between them. That's literally what was said in the title, and that's what I was testing the whole time, but everybody thought I was comparing image quality when it was just stabilization. So with that aside, obviously there was an issue with the Sony camera. I did a couple more tests and figured out that it was the camera, that there's something wrong with it. And once I started searching online, I found that other people had that issue as well. It wasn't a huge widespread issue, but it did seem like it was popping up on YouTube and a few forums and everything, where because of the optical stabilization, the lens can get bumped out of place or something. So kind of annoying that that happened, especially because I didn't even know there's a problem until I had gone through and processed the footage. And so that would have been disappointing if I was really somewhere like super awesome that I wouldn't be going back to for a while, or on a family vacation. So that footage was ruined. So I talked to Sony, I reached out to them. They are very responsive as far as asking me to run a couple of tests on the camera and everything like that. So once we verified that it was definitely the camera, they said that I could send it in for repair. Because I had just purchased it prior as my second or third Sony camera, it was still under the manufacturer 1-year warranty. And so I sent it off to Sony. Now, it didn't actually go to Sony, it went to their repair facility. But they basically, I sent it out and they turned around and I got it back within like a week and like 3 days or something like that, including weekend. So turnaround time for repair was really fast, but now I'm back again to test the GoPro 6 and the FDR-X3000 in a sharpness test now that the Sony camera has come back. No, I haven't tested the camera prior to this. I pulled it out of the box, turned it on, made sure it worked, but I have not tested any of the footage. So let's take a look at some of the shots here and see if Sony has managed to fix the camera and finally give a good test between the two. Now, on the last test that I was doing for stabilization, up close, it seemed like the cameras were fairly comparable, but as soon as there was any distance, like mountains in the background and that kind of thing, that's when it seemed like the Sony camera was really at a disadvantage because of the issues that it was having. And when I sent the camera off, basically I only sent the camera. That's the only thing they told me to send. I didn't have to send the battery or anything else. But when I got the camera back, it was basically new condition, including the sticker on the bottom, which had kind of been messed up from using it on a tripod. So I would assume that they probably just replaced that because it seemed like really good condition when I got it back. But who knows? But overall, the experience was really good. Sony was quick to, get the camera turned around and back in my hands, and there really wasn't any drama. It was just going through and verifying that I'd actually purchased it and that it was still under warranty. And just like before, I'm not adding any stabilization during editing. Basically, I just pull this off straight off the camera and then put the two side by side. And a conclusion that you've probably already come to at this point is that the Sony camera still is not working. I did double check. All the footage was shot in 4K, similar modes and everything else like that, but the Sony footage is still blurry. A lot of people in the last video, of course, have talked about how I didn't shoot it in the right resolution. Maybe it was at 1080 and I upscaled it or something like that. That was not true. I have checked the original file. I had high hopes for the Sony coming back and working. However, if you search on YouTube here, just type in X3000 or Sony X3000 blurry or out of focus, you'll get results. You'll find multiple people on there who have posted videos saying like, this is my second, third, fourth camera, and they're still having this problem. Now, if you search the same thing for GoPro Hero 6, you don't really find anything. You'll find stuff where they're talking about, bad footage because people aren't using the proper settings or anything like that, but you're not finding anything in there about focus issues. So maybe, at the end of the day, the best Sony versus the best GoPro, the Sony might be a little bit sharper, but in the real world, for my experience with two cameras and, sending the camera in and having it repaired, it still doesn't come back working. Which is, like I said, it sucks. The camera has always been well taken care of. I've never dropped it. It's never had any hard impacts or anything like that where I could see the lens becoming out of alignment again. So I'm not sure what's happened here, but bottom line is the Sony's, not the camera that I'm gonna be using anymore because I'm not getting reliable footage out of it. And it would really suck if I'd gone on a family vacation and, got footage that I won't be able to get again, or whatever, something like that. And then I plug it in the computer and I find out that it's, kind of blurry or not working properly. So, at least for me personally, the GoPro Hero 6 is definitely the camera that I'll be using because it's never let me down. Of course, if you have any other questions or comments, make sure you put them below. Subscribe to the channel. I do other tests and everything like that with various cameras and drones. So comment below and I'll see you in the next video.